He would pick women up, drive them to isolated wooded areas or to his own home, strangle them, and dispose of their bodies in clusters across the county, several of them near the Green River itself, which is how he earned his infamous nickname. His youngest confirmed victim was just 14 years old, a runaway named Wendy Stevens, whose identity investigators would not confirm until decades later using genetic genealogy. 2 decades of near misses. What makes the Green River case so unsettling is how close police came to catching Ridgway years before they actually did. He was flagged as a suspect as early as 1983. In 1987, investigators were suspicious enough to obtain a saliva sample from him, but at the time, forensic DNA science simply wasn't advanced enough to extract meaningful information from the degraded evidence found at crime scenes. The sample went into storage. Ridgway went back to his ordinary life, married again, and kept killing. For years, the case grew cold enough that many assumed it would never be solved. Task forces were assembled and disbanded. Reporters wrote about the Green River Killer as if he were already a ghost story. The breakthrough, a 20-year-old swab. The case cracked open because of a scientific leap, not a lucky break in the field. By 2001, forensic labs were using a technique called short tandem repeat, STR, analysis, which could amplify and read tiny, badly degraded DNA samples that older technology couldn't touch. Scientists ran the amplified DNA recovered from Ridgway's earliest victims against that 14-year-old saliva sample still sitting in evidence storage. It matched. On November 30, 2001, Ridgway was arrested as he left his shift at the Kenworth truck factory, the same ordinary routine he'd kept up for years while investigators searched for a monster they pictured looking nothing like him. At the time of his arrest, he was believed to be the most prolific serial killer in U.S. history. The deal that spared his life. To avoid a death sentence, Ridgway struck a plea agreement, full, detailed cooperation in exchange for life in prison instead of execution. For months afterward, he sat with detectives and led them back to remote, overgrown locations across King County and even into Oregon, a detour he later admitted was a deliberate attempt to throw off investigators pointing out where he had left the remains of women missing for 15, 20, even more than 25 years. For families who had spent decades not knowing, it was a brutal but necessary reckoning. In December 2003, Ridgway pleaded guilty to 48 counts of aggravated first-degree murder. Investigators